And you never picked up that static flash again, eh? Mused Strong, looking at Roger. Well, the only reason I can think of is that someone aboard the Avenger must have discovered what was happening. That's the way I figure it, sir, replied Roger. The Solar Guard captain studied the scanner that was now working in perfect order. It's a tough break that we couldn't get that fix on Coxine's position. I was counting on it. But at least we found Tom. That's plenty to be thankful for. How is he, sir? Asked Roger. He'll be all right, replied the Solar Guard captain, his face showing the strain of the past weeks. We gave him pure oxygen and he came to long enough to tell us what happened aboard the Avenger. Get me teleceiver contact with Space Academy as soon as possible. I've got to send a report to Commander Walters. Right, sir. You've done a good job, Manning. Your work here on the radar bridge did as much towards saving Tom's life as anything. Thank you, sir. After what Tom did on the Avenger, though, I don't feel like I've done very much. It took real courage to go aboard that ship with Coxine. Strong smiled wearily. Well, the boy is safe now and we have a good idea what part of the belt Coxine is operating in. With a little luck and a thorough fleet patrol, we might be able to get him before he can do any more harm. Strong went below to the cadets' quarters where Astro was sitting quietly, watching Tom. The cadet was sound asleep. When Strong entered, Astro held a finger to his lips and met the captain at the door. How is he? Whispered Strong. He's been sleeping since he spoke to you, sir, said Astro. He's pretty weak, but I don't think there's anything seriously wrong with him. After a good rest, he'll be as good as new. Thank the universe for that, breathed Strong. He glanced at the sleeping cadet and then turned back to Astro. Better take your station. He'll be all right now. I want to get back to the academy as soon as I can. Yes, sir. Attention, Captain Strong, Roger's voice crackled over the intercom loudspeaker. I've made contact with Commander Walters at Space Academy, sir. He's standing by for your report. Strong returned to the control deck where he saw the sharp image of the Space Academy commander waiting on the teleceiver screen. He told the grim-faced senior officer of discovering the static Morse code flashes sent out by Tom from the Avenger and the race to save Tom's life. When he finished, the commander's face seemed to relax. When Corbett wakes up, give him my personal congratulations, Steve. That goes for Astro, Roger, and yourself, as well. Thank you, sir, said Strong. Since Coxine seems to be operating exclusively out of the asteroid belt, I think it would be a good idea to concentrate the entire fleet of patrol ships in that area. Good idea. I'll set it up. But get back here as soon as possible, Steve. Coxine and that crew on the Avenger aren't sitting still. What do you mean, sir? In the last 3 days we've had reports from 7 ships. Jetliners, passenger freighters, and supply ships. All were attacked by the Avenger and stripped of everything those criminals could load on their murderous backs. Blasters, Parala ray guns, whole and synthetic foodstuffs, clothes, money, jewels, equipment. Everything under the stars that they could use. Any ship that even comes close to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, unless escorted, is a dead spacebird. And if we did provide an escort, we wouldn't have enough ships left to carry on the search. Strong listened to the news with rising anger. I'll blast back to the academy as soon as I can, sir, said Strong. Fine, said the commander. End transmission. End transmission. Strong turned off the teleceiver and called Roger onto the radar bridge. Have you got a course back to the academy, Roger? Yes, sir. All right, give it to Astro and let's get moving. Every minute wasted now is the difference between a ship looted and the future safety of the space lanes. I have a feeling that Coxine is not just playing for the hauls he makes on those helpless jetliners. I don't get you, sir. Look at it this way, Roger, replied Strong with a grim smile. A man smart enough to do what he did while he was confined to a prison asteroid might have bigger ideas now that he's free. Ideas about himself and the whole Solar Alliance. During the weeks following, the activity of Bull Coxine and his pirate crew justified Captain Strong's fears. Repeatedly, ships were attacked on the fringe of the asteroid belt and stripped of armor, food supplies, and valuables. With the secret of the light key, the vaults of the ships were opened as easily as though there had been no lock at all. The totals had reached staggering amounts and the daring of the Avenger was more pronounced, as Coxine struck repeatedly, farther and farther away from the protection of the asteroid belt. It seemed as though he were taunting the Solar Guard with his exploits. All defense measures seemed to be futile. When the space freighters and jetliners were armed and tried to resist attack, Coxine blasted them into helpless space junk at a frightful cost of life. When the ships were escorted by powerful rocket cruisers, the pirate refused to attack, but the search squadrons were correspondingly depleted. The combinations of the energy locks were changed every day, but with the adjustable light key, Coxine met every change easily. The entire Solar Alliance was in an uproar, and the citizens of the planets were clamoring for action.